everyone. We're still getting some people online. So this is good. Another day for us to make it happen. I see my friend Jacob Peebles is on here. Darcy, good to see you. Vanessa Sanchez, I see you out there. Sharon Tillman. Dina, I see you, Dina. Our good friend Kevin Cronin joined again today. Alyssa Ellis, I see you. Ann Strand. Janny, happy for you to join. So many friends that are joining today. I love what I'm seeing. Shar, I see you smiling, you and Tommy. Tommy, I see you. What you drinking another cup of Joe? Very, 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 very good. We're gonna give everyone like about 1 more minute before we really get started. So if you need to be like Tommy, Renee, and get your cup of Joe, I would suggest you do that. Get your stretch on. Brandy Sargent, I see you. I saw you. I saw you on your camera. Happy for you to join today. So we're still having people roll in, and we have a really good agenda today. I'm really excited about today. Before I do all of that, I wanted to give you all some updates on some of our participation, some of our numbers, and what we have going on today. So first I'll start with some of the numbers. We had 250 registered participants today. We had 250 over the course actually of the week. That's an excellent turnout for our first conference online. And that's about a little on par, close to on par with what we would do in person. So that shows the strength of the region and the strengths of you all for coming out and supporting what we do. I saw Vanessa put the clap emoji. If you don't know where that is, look at the bottom right-hand corner and you can give the thumbs up, you can give the clap. I prefer the clap and then the thumbs up. Really, really proud of our region and what we're doing, and we're going to continue to keep making that happen. I want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors and all of our exhibitors. So that's KeyBank, which was our platinum sponsor, Yardi, our swag sponsor, HARRP, our conference app sponsor, B2A CPA, which was a bronze sponsor, Umpqua Bank, which was a bronze sponsor, and then all of our exhibitors, including Auto Out, Bathfitter, Emphasis, Impact Capital, MRI, Revival Development Services, Washington State Housing Finance Commission, and HAI Group. I don't know about you, but I love when people help sponsor us. I'm going to definitely show them support, and you can show them support by going to the virtual exhibit hall. I know many of you are working in different housing authorities and we do some contracting. I can't steer you towards them, but I can tell you, take a look at them. Take a look. Laura McGowan, I see you this morning, looking like $1 million. I also want to give a shout out to behind the scenes conference team. So that's Shelly Scrogum. She works as our RSO with her team, Hattie Walton, Ashley Munoz, and Michael Bussey. They've been making all of this happen. I don't know if you guys can reach that clap emoji, clap it up for them. I appreciate them being here. I appreciate all of the work that they've done, and our conference planning team. There are many of our conference planning teams from the region who are on this call, and they've been so critical and crucial about making this happen. So I will go through today's agenda. As you can see, it's on the screen. It says that from 9 to 10:15, today we have our update with Senator Patty Murray. We have our noon general session with the dynamic keynote speaker, Calvin Terrell. We have from 1 to 2 virtual coffee shops, so Club 21. If you haven't been to that, you definitely got to check it out. Maintenance and COVID-19, how important is all of that? WHAAP and SAO, of course, and then from 2 to 3:15, breakout sessions, facing the storm, resiliency in the time of COVID-19. Who doesn't need that resiliency? Shoot, I need it today. top 5 ways to avoid being the next PHA headline. Ah, man. Well, I'm hoping that they're going to keep us away from being in the negative and keep us in the positive. And then helping the homeless 101 Washington Host Home Coalition. That's very, very important. I know many of our regions are dealing with houselessness and homelessness, and they're looking at us as the entities to help push that work forward. Also, from 3:30 to 4:45, some critical breakout sessions, emotional intelligence, EI. Sometimes I'm lacking on that. I need to, yes. Whoever planned that, yes to you. Restart of REACT physical inspections and Inspire update. Yes, okay, yes. We're bringing the fire this afternoon. And then finally, We the People, a discussion on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Look, y'all, some of you might have to buy 2 more phones so you can attend all 3. That's all. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know. Before I go any further, I want to introduce our national president. I asked her to give us 1-minute word of encouragement, a 1-minute word of encouragement. President Sunny Shaw, I'm going to hand you over 1 minute to light a fire for us.
I have 1 minute. Okay, this is a big task. So as you've heard me say many times in this conference already, we're seeing so much turmoil in our country. We're seeing racial unrest from years and years and years of unjust actions by our government. And we are seeing a pandemic, which we've not really seen for 100 years as well. All of these things have really combined to cause a lot of stress for you all. I know you're trying to do your jobs, take care of your residents. If you're over employees, you're trying to take care of your staff, your entire team, and it's not easy. I know that we all get down, and it's really important that you're taking time for you, that you are taking the time for your own self-care and for your wellness. It's critical. You can't take care of other people if you aren't taking care of you. I want you to know that I believe in you. You are warriors. You are out there doing hard work on the front lines. I appreciate everything you do. And I know that our families are feeling stressed, and so they may not have time to say thank you. On their behalf, I say thank you. Keep doing God's work. Thanks a bunch, guys.
President Sunny Shaw always knows how to make it happen. I do want to say this, that COVID update is with Senator Patty Murray and our own Lori McGowan. So I hope you all are able, how many times do we have the chance to even talk to the senator? A senator. I don't even know a senator. I don't even know okay, I do know our senator, but we have the opportunity to be able to hear. So I want to introduce this morning's conversation with my good friend, Patricia Wells, or as I like to call her, she's not old enough to be my mom. She's about the age she could be my older sister. So I like to call her my sister, Patricia Wells. I was going to read her bio, but instead I want to hand over 1 minute to her before we start our question and answers for you to explain who you are, your passions, and what is driving you. And then we'll go into the questions. And I'll start off with the questions because I am president here and I get to do that.
Well, good morning, Cupid. And thank you for getting it right. I am not quite old enough to be your mama, but I am honored and delighted to be your big sister. Oh, not big. Just your sister. Yeah, you're taller.
I'm taller.
Good morning, PNRC. I am just so delighted to be here. I have to confess that when I first got the invitation, I thought, oh my gosh, a radio show? I'm not ready. So I'm delighted that it's not just not a radio show, but a place where I can actually see your amazing faces. And congratulations on a good morning. Who am I? I have to tell you, I am just a little girl from Philadelphia who, when the time was right, always said, yes, I want to try. Daughter of a father who raised 6 kids when his wife took ill. Ferocious student. I am energized by love and all things spiritual and beautiful. And I think you'll hear a lot more about that as we get on with the session. And most importantly, I am your neighbor and your friend. and part of your family. And I mean that in every sincere way, based upon who I am in my spiritual self. So I'm delighted to be here, sir. And Sir President, I am ready to get on with this interview.
Yes.
And I have my cup of coffee, by the way. So.
Yeah, it looks like you drank most of it. I see you. Some mornings I like that, y'all.
Yeah.
I know.
I'll go.
I know JD Hackett, who's attending, knows what I'm talking about. All right. So first question that I have is, tell us about your leadership journey and how you got to be Senior VP of NARO. And I kind of want to know why. Like, why be a part of NARO, honestly?
Right on. When I first started, it was back in the early Hope 6 days, actually. And I was newly hired as a resident services coordinator. And my director for resident services, because I was in charge of workforce investment and getting the community services part going, sent me to the chapter NARO presentation conference and learned a lot. And people were saying hello. And people were sharing stories, and it was a place of like being back in college, and I totally thrived on it. Then I got an invitation based upon one of the projects we were doing on Hope 6 to do a presentation at the next conference. I said yes. That kind of started a series that when opportunities came up to share what we were doing here in Oakland, and I've been with the Oakland Housing Authority now for 22 years. I started when I was 10 years old, so that gives you an idea that I'm just the big sister. I kept saying yes. The desire and the need, quite frankly, it's almost like a need for me to be engaged, be involved, and to serve, just kept opening up doors. So I went from doing presentations to our former regional president, Chris Guig, iconic in our industry on the legislative side, tapped me to being part of the housing committee locally, and then tapped me to be part of the housing committee on the national scale. Again, because I love to learn, I also love to train and teach. So that led to a couple of national committees. And then one day, about 2 or 3 years ago, I was tapped again and said, would I serve in a different way? Would I actually look at a level of national leadership that would require, if you call yourself a servant leader, a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of giving? And I said, yes. It has been an incredible ride, as you can imagine. And the why, I think I talked about it at a couple of conferences. It's how I started. My father, being a single dad, didn't believe in us just taking what life gave us, but actually taking what life gave us and giving it back. And so service is just who I am. And the fact that I am a diehard fan and believer in affordable housing and diverse communities, and strength in numbers and strength in each of us having our own power and voice, it was a natural fit. So that hopefully that answers that question.
No, that was great. You know what? We have a lot of, and you hit on something, you said to serve. We have a lot of leaders on this call. There's a lot of smaller housing authorities on this call. There are medium-sized housing authorities, and there's some large housing authorities. What you're looking at is a dedicated group of individuals who are here to serve their communities. I want to ask you something. In the spirit of servitude, what has it been like during this pandemic for you? What is it? How have you been dealing with this?
Thank you for that question. I tell you, one of my fortes here in Oakland, and Oakland's a big urban city if you've not been here. I'm from Philly. I've worked in DC and New York, so I'm definitely an urban cow, but I'm also a Future Farmer of America alum, and I spent many, many years in Ohio. So I'm kind of a mixed breed. When this hit, the pandemic first, we had already gone through a couple of things out here on the West Coast, from earthquakes to storms to other type of protests. And I am that person that they say, hey, you, come help. And I worked with our police department. I worked alongside emergency services. That's how I approached this initially, was, okay, this is going to be a 2-week stint. We're going to get through this. By week 4, I will tell you, my personal space, my personal faith faltered a little bit. So what this made me do was really say, if I'm going to have as my foundation, who I say I am, I need to hold tight. So I will tell you, my spiritual life has blossomed because I find that I have to hold truth to my beliefs in order to be a light and share for everyone I'm responsible to. We're a large housing authority, so we have 370 employees. We serve 16,000 families in Oakland, another 40 in Northern California. I didn't have the time to not try to get as strong as I could for everyone else. And so that's been it. It's kind of what my daddy told me. It's for such a time as this, deal with it. Now, I'm not so great at self-care. I admit that. I will go days and not work out. I will go days and not go for walks. I will go days and not reach out to the people who love me. And luckily I've got a circle of family that reach back to me. And that's important, keeping our circle tight, because I have so much mad respect for smaller housing authorities, because I realize you know what we do so much more intimately than us larger housing authorities, where we got folks that do that. We got people. I have such mad respect, and I can imagine self-care is important. So I hope that you embrace part of what I'm sharing and take care of yourselves as you're taking care of everyone else.
That's great. That's great. So I have a final question. It's not really on here, but we practice authenticity in the Pacific Northwest. So sometimes we go off script, which is what we're about to do. But, you know, there are many people on this call who are the front line in their agencies. Half of them do the inspections, and they do all the filings to the HUD field office, and they handle all of the residents, and they manage maybe one or two people. And they need a little bit of encouragement. I need you to give them some encouragement about the work that they're doing and how you've seen individuals like them move everything forward for our communities.
I said a little while ago, mad respect, and here's how I would define that. In the darkness, and right now on the West Coast, we definitely are under clouds because of the fires. In the darkness that has been the last couple of months, be it because the reawakening that there is racism in America, the reawakening that poverty is real, the reawakening that affordable housing is needed, you have chosen, probably without thinking about it, of being a light. And just think about how your moments doing the inspections, getting the report in on time so we make sure our subsidy comes through, just spending time looking someone in the eyes and giving them encouragement for their housing, or even if they're in non-compliance or that COVID took a job away, think of how much that one light continues to spark every single day. You are a hero. We talk a lot about heroes during this time. The work that we do is, as Sunny said, we are warriors, and you are on the front line. I appreciate you, and I have a funny feeling that the folks that you touch every day may not remember to say it because they're in their own stuff. No doubt that that appreciation is there for you also. So hold tight to that and pull on it when you need to, and pull on one another when you need to. Let's continue to give each other and show each other that love and that admiration for the work that we do.
Wow, thank you. So those of you who don't know Patricia Wells, you can tell that she is just like a warm person. I wish we could hug, because I'm over here air hugging her, just like I air hug Shar Revis. You know, I just appreciate all of that energy. I think you have a couple questions for me. We could keep mine short because I've been talking to everyone the whole time. And they're like, this dude again, he's yelling at us in the morning already. I don't even drink coffee, y'all.
Well, you know, that's a neat trick. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What about your journey? You now know about mine. I realize I don't know a whole lot about yours. Tell me about your journey.
Man, yeah. So actually, there's a few people on this call who've probably grown up with me. Started at a housing authority. I worked there for 12 years, but my journey was a little bit different. I've told a few people this. I was one of the ones who was a late bloomer. I, didn't feel like the space I was in necessarily met my ambitions, but I was there. I had a lot of good friends, a lot of good people I worked with. I received a lot of support. I always shout out Sunny because at one time in my career, she personally reached out for me as a result of my connection through NARO to help get me moving. I will tell you all a bit of honesty. I spent 12 years in the same position. I did not move up. So I spent 12 years working as a case manager for a very, very long time. It wasn't happening for me where I was at. I went to graduate school, but twice. I went to graduate school twice. And then after a while, once I got out of the space that I was in, I had opportunities and I continued to network with individuals. I met some of you all. I looked at some of your work. I said it was mine in spaces you weren't in because I'm that guy. It's not plagiarizing if you change 7 words. That's, you know, I took good ideas and I kept it moving. You know, and then over the past about 6 years, 7 years, man, things changed for me. I got some opportunities. I went to a redevelopment agency. I moved up there. I started doing policy. I did some policy work. I volunteered a lot in my community, and I continued with NARO. And I had opportunities here, and that would be my call for those who are like, hey, how do you like make it happen? That's how I met Patricia. That's how I met a lot of individuals on this call, both locally and nationally, who have been instrumental. I've met individuals like Andrew Lofton, who's the CEO in the Seattle Housing Authority, and in spaces he has stepped up for me in a very personal way. And that's the result of just connecting with people. Otherwise, I mean, NARO to me facilitates these relationships, and it's one of the easier ways because like many of you all, I was like, man, it's not happening for me. Not because of me, but because you know, I'll keep it PG, y'all. It just wasn't happening. So, you know, happy to have these opportunities, and maybe that's why I come across the way I come across, just high level of candor, because I know how it is out there. I know how it is when you're working every day and you're barely getting paid. You're like, man, I'm trying to make it happen for my own family, much less encourage these other families who have like intergenerational like poverty and upward mobility issues that you see on a daily basis. And so I've taken this opportunity and really brought that to my position now. So I'm a director in the mayor's office in Portland, Oregon. And I really just am like, you know what? Do you know what those families are going through? Like, have you done a voucher calculation? Have you worked with anyone who, do you know what you're talking about? If not, I got some messages for you. So that's,
you know, we talked a little bit about off script, and I just jumped in there, but I would have not thought about 12 years just staying stagnant or in a space from you, your energy and all the vibrancy you bring. So you mentioned we got some folks on the front line here. I'm hoping and confident that we see some future leaders in this session right now today. What changed for you? How do we, to your point, in positions where we're not necessarily getting paid big bank, or we're not getting recognition that would make us be encouraged on a daily basis, we're just doing the work. What spark helped you go from 12 years, this is not necessarily my juju, but it's where I am, and then take that moment to get to the next space? How do we inspire other folks to do?
No, that's the question. I'll say for me personally, I come from a family of optimists. So I always had that inner drive. I think, so that was number one, that I just personally invested in myself the best way I could. And I didn't necessarily always have the money. So I bought a book here. I listened to speeches there. I read as much as I could. So I read voraciously. I just genuinely think that life can get better, but I understand that these tools are made up by people. Like, we're using tools made by people. That was what I learned in like grad school. So I got a master's in public administration and another one in real estate development. And I understood that, you know, all of this were things that were done by people. The other thing is that I really started connecting with individuals who are in the industry, and they spoke life into me, period. They're like, you know, we see something in you. We see an opportunity for you. Hold on, rock with us. We know you can go other places. And then I just had my final thing was that I just had a desire to do something good in the community because I wanted things to be better as a result of my interaction. So I really took it as a personal opportunity, and I still take it as a personal opportunity. And look here, y'all, as special as I might feel like I am, or as special as I might want to be, or as special as my girlfriend might tell me I am, I'm not that special. So that what I'm saying is that like all of these things can be learned. All of these things, every single voucher calculation process, all of these taxing structures that inform how we're going to make our decisions, the political process that is only a means and not the end. The end would be making our community better. The process is using politics to do that is easily learned. And if I could do it, y'all could do it. And I'm really looking forward to many of y'all joining us on this journey because we need it. And because, you know, like I'm a testament to like all of that. But like one thing that I am is I come in with like this fire because I know what it's like to be on the other side, just like many of you. I've had way too many experiences to not tell people the truth of how we move forward together. But I honestly just think we can, right? So I think that like we can do it because these are like, this construct is fake, right? So what I say the construct is fake is that like we make the rules. Like Moses didn't come down and was like, these are the housing rules. Y'all got to do this. Nah, people make the decisions. We make funding decisions and our economy is expanding. So it means that we just build a longer table. We have the resources. We have the intelligence and we have the people. So I wanted to be a part of doing that work. I wanted to commit myself to doing that work. And I've locked arms with each of you because I think you are committed to do that work. And you know, so many people have said, we're going to the mountaintop. And I'm crazy enough to believe that. I'm like, oh, like success for me with this group means that more people are housed a lot easier and their life was better because they met with Vanessa Sanchez or Lori McGowan or Stephanie Wynn or Patricia Wells or Sunny Shaw or me or Brandy Sargent, George, like all these people on these calls. So, you know, that's how I am. And like I said, I'm from a Baptist house. So you give me the microphone, I will look, y'all could come buy some pound cake in the basement after church. That's just how I look. So we're gonna stop there.
All right, so it sounds like we really are brother and sister. For my household, actually, it was where we became the distributor for the community for the old school welfare cheese, welfare honey, welfare dry milk. So anybody that knows about that knows I might be a little older than 30. We're down to our last 8 minutes, sir. And so we've talked a lot about really that our space in NARO is about giving to someone else. Is we both have kind of said it's not even about us, even though it feels like it on a good day. How do we turn the woe is me and give it to someone else? So how would any of the folks on this call approach you and I? What would they come to us for in our roles as Senior Vice President of NARO, and for you, President of the region? What kind of questions should they ask? How can they contact us? How can we help them help others?
I think what's important is that Jacob Peebles in the chat put he like powdered milk. So I know he's a real one, right? If you haven't read the chat.
No.
How can individuals reach us? Well, I think that what I found is that most of the people I know, taking myself out of it, are refreshingly real. And it just takes an email. It takes an email and a desire to want to work together. So I like want to work together. And I have no problem getting out the way so someone else can take the mantle to move our work forward, because there's going to be days that I'm tired. And there's going to be days that you're tired. And there's going to be days that Patricia are tired. So like any other relationship that we have that's successful, because I've been in a great successful relationship with my girlfriend now, terrible relationships with coworkers, my basketball coach, you know, sometimes my mom, though she says she loves me, my mom loves me. I think it's just reaching out to us. I think it's just reaching out, and it's reaching out to all of the individuals. Like there's been times where there are things I just don't know. And it's not my job I don't need to know them. Yesterday we had a gentleman on and I'm blanking on his name, but he was like, yo, you don't need to be faster than the bear. You just need to be faster than the next person, right? So my thing is like, I don't need to know everything. I know all of you all. Eric Bailey, thanks, Pam. Pam Taylor, a good friend of mine now. I don't have to be faster than bear. I just have to be faster than everybody else. And you all make me faster, and we all will be faster because everyone, you know, when we're hearing things like, you know, they're going to get rid, they're going to ruin your neighborhoods. No, our communities and our people make communities better very clearly. I don't want to get partisan, but I know that together we are better. Reach out to us, reach out to Patricia, reach out to myself, reach out to Sunny, reach out to everyone. And I know some of us just don't get the mic, so I'm looking to pass the mic so you guys can preach the gospel of Naro, and the gospel of housing, and the gospel of upward mobility. And me and Patricia Wells can go buy your pound cake in the basement after church. So I think that's all the time we have, y'all. This afternoon we have our session at 10 a.m. with Calvin Terrell. And thank you, Michael, for sharing that information. We have a good day of events going on. Don't forget to play the game. Michelle is ahead. I won't even say her last name. She knows who she is. She's winning that game. I told her not to keep playing so I could win, but she, of course, is playing to win. So play those games. We'll see you this afternoon. This is our last general session together in the morning. Godspeed, good work. See you in a little bit. Thank you, Miss Patricia Wells. Thank you, Sunny. Thank you, PNRC Naro family. Have a good morning.
Have a good morning, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia.
Hi, Pam.
Hi. Miss you. I have to
I
connect.
know, it's good to
This
see
is
you.
not the time for all that, y'all.
Hey, Cupid. I miss her. It's virtual.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.